up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. You know the brand, P&Z Life Coaching. You know the man, Coach Mike James, and I'm back again with another because I ain't got my sound card connected. Episode of Black Business Booming, baby. I'm excited. Y'all know how I always start, but let's rewind. First of all, if you here and you know you done seen my big head before, this is your second or third or maybe fifth time you watched the interview because somebody sent it to you and you ain't following me, hit the thing. Where is it? Subscribe, follow me, connect, holla at your boy. So stop what you're doing. I'm gonna give you a moment. If this is your first time here, I'm Coach Mike James, life coach, speaker, event MC, facilitator for Certified Life Coaching Institute, founder and owner of P&Z Life Coaching. I'm on a mission to share my light, love, and positivity with as many as I can in the time and space that I have. I can't do that without you. So thank you for pausing and follow. Hit the button. All right. So now back to what I was saying. Y'all know I get excited every time I do these interviews because to this point, most, I would say 99.99999%, which would mean maybe 55 or 56. How many episodes? Anyway, all of them just about has been people that I'm connected with that I know. So I get so excited because with this, I started Black Business Booming to highlight Black businesses no matter where they are in their journey to inspire and to let people know that it's possible. And it doesn't matter where you are on your journey as long as you start the journey. So once again, I have a dope soul with me that I'm so excited to share with my audience. So as I always do, I don't want to mess it up, because I may add too much, take some away, leave some out. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to the audience, your name, and any kind of information you want to share with the audience.
Hey guys, my name is Najha, but I'm known by Chef Shay. I actually am a private chef and a traveling chef, two different things. Private meaning that I will cook for anyone like in an intimate setting, small groups, large groups, I do it all. And traveling meaning I will come to you in your state or your city, and I will cook for you and do the same experience that I offer back home, which is in the DMV, anywhere all over the United States. And I'm looking to expand past that as well.
Man, I was checking my pen bag, like when you was growing up and like your mama, your auntie had the little purse bag with
Yeah.
money and change in it. I was looking in here to see some. I got to get my bag right to. I got to fly. Look, listen now. We gonna get into it, but let me just tell you, I'm still thinking about them. That gone deviled eggs.
Oh man, the deviled egg.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, y'all. I bet. Anyway, look,
It's
I
I
can
mean,
stay here.
I
I can stay
can't
here and talk
I
about
can't
this.
explain to you how that even happened. I cannot
It was a
explain to you.
video. It
Yeah,
was
I
just a
know, but I can't
video.
explain how it
Yeah.
happened. Like in my mind, I just create things. Like I like the taste of certain things. And the deviled eggs he's talking about, there was like these shrimp stuffed
Oh,
deviled eggs,
y'all
but
hear
a
that? Y'all
buffalo
hear that?
shrimp at that. And I don't know, like I love buffalo tasting things. I'm a pescatarian, so I do not eat like chicken or anything. So most things I do is mostly seafood, but I also go vegan based on a lot of options. But I wanted some buffalo chicken, so I made some buffalo shrimp, and then like I don't know what happened. It just like kind of all exploded on a plate and
Yeah.
up there.
Oh my goodness. Such a beautiful explosion. I don't know. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I had a
that's the
moment because
only
I
way I can
thought
explain
about
it.
it. And I
I'm a
promise
vibe.
you, I'm like, if it's not the next time we roll through and stop, but when you said, oh, travel shop, I don't know. Just maybe I didn't pay attention, right?
Yeah, I
I ain't
come
know.
everywhere.
I gotta get you flued out.
Yeah.
So
Listen, I've been to a lot of places. In the DMV, I'm always going between Maryland, Virginia, and everything. But I've been to New York, I've been to Philly, I've been to Atlanta. Like I travel.
man,
But you gotta be careful. So I've gotten offers to come other places, but I get nervous.
yeah, I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And
you
when you
you never
travel,
know.
you don't want to travel alone. Never.
Yeah, that's true.
Never travel alone. So you want to make sure you have someone with you. But I'm like, how'd you find me? Because
You
there's
need
a lot of
security.
weirdos out there. Yeah. I was like, so how
You need
do you know me?
Jeff, you need security. because I'm fine here.
Oh,
You
it's
don't
on top
want to
of
be
my
alone.
expenses. But it's just crazy, like the amount of people that want to fly me out different places. I've gone certain places because I feel like comfortable with those areas. I know
Right.
people stuff like that. But the areas that I don't know that I probably never heard, I'm like, where are you?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. So I'm sorry that I just thought about again those devil eggs. And I'm telling you, I'm going to have them one day.
Nah,
It's a matter of
listen,
when.
the
It's not
name of
if.
my business is the Vibe Experience. And throughout everything that I try to do, I make sure that I bring a vibe, whatever type of vibe it is. But I'm gonna match your vibe. So if we're doing brunch, you're gonna have the nice vibe. Going, you have a private dinner, I'm gonna match that with you. And like the way the name came up was just that. I was around a lot of people and people were like, "You're such a vibe." And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went and I think actually it was in the Atlanta booking that day. I flew down and I made like a brunch for a women's empowerment group. And that was pretty awesome. That
Mm,
was very awesome. So I got to like network with a lot of people. And I think actually that was my first like actually getting on a plane, being flown out somewhere
right.
event. And I didn't really have a name. Like I kind of was on the fence about it. When I went down, I'm like, this is such a vibe. And I'm like, I just keep hearing it. I just keep hearing it. I think I was listening to Pandora and 2 Chainz. It's a vibe. Came on. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it's a vibe.
Oh,
I'm a vibe.
yeah.
Like, come on, that's it. Like, that's it. That's it.
So when was this? The Atlanta experience.
The Atlanta was that like 2020? I think that was the first year I actually was
Okay.
like established. It definitely had to be
Wow.
2020 because I didn't really have a name. So
That's awesome. Okay, well, I just let you back off the hook because I was thinking in my mind, it's better not say since I've known you.
no, no, no. That was when I first started. It's like one of my something I could be really proud of because that was a first. You always
Hmm.
remember your first.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
in my highlight of my business, I always remember like all the first. The first private dinner I did that was
Hmm.
actually paid. The
That's
first,
so dope.
booking where I was flown out. The first time like I cooked on the yacht. The first, like I always remember the first. Now somewhere in the middle, sometimes I remember other details, but the first, yeah. Make
That's
something the
awesome,
first for
man.
me.
The vibe experience, vibe with Chef Shay. So listen, okay. So you talked about 2020 in that area is when
Right.
you started it, right? And you said
Yes.
it went from just this thought and not having a name to having the name, the inspiration behind it. So now, if you think back to that, when you started, what inspired you to get into this lane? To or maybe it's even some point in your childhood. What inspired you to be a chef? To be a chef, and then, like you said, not only just private, but travel. And then,
Yeah.
you work with organizations, different things. So
Mhm.
what inspired you to do that?
So I mean, obviously, I grew up in an African American family, and they cook, they throw down,
Mm,
they make things
yeah.
that I don't eat. Pig's feet, I will not touch it. But and so and it was different. I grew up in both Baltimore and Chicago, so my roots kind of go between the two cities. But those ladies and men, they throw down.
Mm-hmm.
I was always watching what was happening, and I like to eat, so I'm with it. But I never really learned. My mom, she would have me do little things, and I would pretend like I couldn't do it. Like, no, she's like, "You're not doing it right," and she would ask me to do it again. I'm like, "Yes." But when I moved out, like I'm living on my own. I was a little young, I was like 17, 18 when I moved out, and you had to cook. I had to cook, but I love hosting. I love hosting. I started working in the food and beverage industry. I was a bartender. I never was a chef. I was either like a server or a bartender or like
Mm,
a shift supervisor or something like that. I was in the front. But I would go in the back and me hanging out with the chefs, like, what you doing? Let me see that. Like, teaching me.
yeah.
And I love to host. So I would have like at my apartment, I would just invite like a group of people and I would cook everything. I would ask them to bring anything. I would just cook. And from that, like people started asking me, like, hey, can you cook for me and my boyfriend? I'm like, sure. But I would do it for free.
Mm,
Like I was just cooking. I would come and I would set up these intimate dinners for them. And I would cook a whole meal. And like I even had like, a whole thing that I would say, like, we're going to do this. And I was just going through all these motions, but I wasn't making a dime off of this. And 2020 hit. Well, before 2020, I'm sorry, like 2019, I wanted a change in my life. And I'm like, what do I like to do? So I like to cook. I love to cook. That's all I'm doing. why not? Okay. And I said to someone, like, I think I'm gonna start cooking for people. Why? Like, I don't know. I'm already doing it though. Why not make the money off of it? So before COVID like really got to the point where we were shut down, I think they were still trying to figure out what was going on. It was right before that. And I think my first business adventure was me having a Valentine's Day special. And I sold out. I had like 4 bookings.
Wow.
And from that moment, I can do this. I can do
Period.
this. After that,
Yeah.
before that, I was coming up with like all these business plans and everything, but I really like dove into it. And then we got shut down.
Mhm.
And I'm something has to change. I don't even know what direction. What are we going to be able to do? We couldn't even go to market, so we couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the streets were empty. It was so weird. I can't believe we
Yeah.
lived through that. But
Yeah.
it was a lot of brainstorming. I know COVID it triggered a lot of different things in people's lives, but for me, what it brought was clarity.
Yeah, it's interesting you say clarity because it's amazing even what happened to nature, um, untainted by human and the effect
Right.
of human. Just like everything, when you did start going back out, it's like, oh my goodness, the air is fresher, the trees are brighter. It's like
It was a
even
reset.
Mother Nature, yeah, even Mother
Yes.
Nature was like, thank y'all, y'all left me alone for a while.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I've never seen the water in this old dirty pond so clear. Uh, oh man, that's all. The interview's over. We can end right here. That inspired so much in me, and you telling that story because you said something that stands out to me, and it's the very reason why I created my 5 Ps. Because people will toss and turn and toil through life trying to say, I don't know my passion yet. I don't know my passion. I'm 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't know I don't know my purpose in life, my purpose in life. I say, you know what? What hit me hard? I was listening to a speech by someone, and they said, your passion will pin you to your purpose.
Yeah.
And I took that and ran with it. And it stuck with me for years until I made my 5 Ps. Your power, give you a passion that will pin you to your purpose and say, listen, follow what you're passionate about. Like you said, right? I think I'm gonna start cooking for people. And the person will say why, because it ain't their passion.
Yeah.
People can't see that vision because they look it through a different lens. And so I love that. I was like, oh man, come on. Review over. Oh, this is so awesome.
And I
So,
did that.
okay,
I was
now,
in the food industry for about 10 years. So that didn't
right.
just, yeah, it was
It didn't
over
just
10
happen.
years. Yeah, I
Something,
stopped counting.
and even before that though, because you talked about even how you grew up, right? And food. And I always say this is so interesting because when you connect, it's something about the soul of Black people that no matter what culture, where you grew up, location wise, the story is similar because it's the culture, right? And half the time, anyway, we related. It's the Great Migration. Families came
Yeah.
from the South, they went to the Midwest, they
And
went
that's what I taste.
West,
Yeah, my
right?
family's Southern.
And when I
Absolutely.
met you for the first time, I was like, Chicago. I was like, man, I got a heap of family. I tell people all the time, my oldest 5 siblings were born in Chicago,
Right.
Cook County. So it's one of those things where the connection and the culture is the same throughout, and that connection has been made even on interviews. I'm like, wait a minute, you sound like that sounds like how I grew up in
Right.
Alabama, a country boy. So
Yes, country. It's in both. In both.
yeah, yeah,
I know they like to
exactly.
argue. Like when I first moved here, it's like you sound so, and I'm like y'all sound, like that. That's
Mm-hmm.
Southern beat. But think about the times. Everybody migrated up, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's in
great
both.
migration for
Yeah,
sure. It is. So now going back 2019 to 2020, and you're starting your business, you're like, yes, this is it. And even when you talked about that first experience, the Valentine's sale, you sold out, like, I can do this. So
yeah.
now when you started and it went from a hobby and a passion to this is it, this is going to be my business. What was the most challenging thing in getting started to make it a business?
I think the most challenging thing is probably the amount of hours that are in a day. There are not enough
Oh,
hours. There are not. So one of the things that I had to do was I had to start planning, and I had to get used to planning that. Like
mm-hmm.
you plan trips and everything else. I literally have to plan out my week, break everything down. So I'm not running around in one day trying to do a million things and then still trying to cook. So I'll break
Mm-hmm.
everything down. The shopping gets done on one day, the prep gets done on another day, and the actual like me making your meal and everything happens on another day. Unless, well, it's still the same process when I'm doing like a private event where I'm actually coming to you and cooking. I still have to
Mm-hmm.
shop. I still have to prep. So I do all that, and then the day of is when I make all of my food. There are not, yeah, there's not enough hours in a day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that was the big struggle. Like, that was a struggle trying to figure out, wow, okay, it takes me. I thought a market run was so quick, but when you're doing it for a large event, market runs can go for like 2 hours. Different markets. I'm going to 3 different stores here. I'm trying to get this container and stuff like that. Now we have the 4 stores. I gotta stop for gas. Like, it's time consuming.
Yeah.
So I learned how to break everything down and not try to be a superhero, because it's impossible. I don't have superpowers. I love superhero movies. I love Harry Potter and everything, but I'm no wizard. And you gotta be realistic. That's the
For
thing.
real.
Be realistic.
Oh, you're just dropping so many gems already. This is amazing. This is awesome. I hope y'all paying attention.
I
Maybe
hope so
get
too.
a pencil, pen. I like pencil. I don't
I
like
like
pens
sticky
because I
notes.
feel like it's too finite. So give me a pencil because I can go back and erase it if I need to. Like, no, I don't like that thought.
He
Sticky
said,
notes, yes.
rewind.
For real. Come on. Pause. I tell people all the time when you go back, watch it, right? When you go back to different spaces in there and pick up on some gems because so many gems are always dropped in these interviews. So now, starting out in the time, planning, right? Something that can be foreign when you start a business. Like, wait a
It
minute,
is.
now I got to pay attention to the time I have on my hands, right? Because you can never get it back. So now, in starting in as you think about that journey from 2020 to now, what are some of the day-to-day challenges of being in business and running your business?
I think for me is it's probably the social aspect. It's a day-to-day challenge for me. Yeah. So it's like I like to see, the final effect, but before that is a challenge. There's a whole process to a booking. It doesn't just happen where someone is, messaging me or calling me up. There are several conversations, and you have to stay proactive. Sometimes, life happens. So I'm talking to you and you want to book me for 2 weeks out, but you just went on a cruise and you forgot all about the whole, but it's a lot of things that I would need to know. So you have to stay active in the communication as well. Like, it's not just on the client. But also that aspect of, like, and you and I have spoken about this, me kind of being an introvert at times. So me forcing myself, like, listen, you gotta communicate today. Okay. And when you do it, like, do it, don't be awkward. Yeah, don't be awkward. And that's for me, like, I have to mentally prepare myself for that, because a lot of times, and then the questions, like, people have questions, and sometimes the issue isn't really that I can't answer it, it's that I don't know what you want to answer. Like, you have to give me a guideline. Can't just say, I want you to cook for me. Okay, what would you like?
Or inside joke, you just want to play like I don't remember you.
Yeah. Really? No.
Wait,
Yeah.
when?
I mean, that's where it is. That's where it is.
Now, when we was beforehand and we had a long conversation, I told you not to make me cry.
Right. And you
But
pulled out your stunner shades.
yeah, but don't make me laugh again. Okay. Well, I mean, that is so true though. That when you talk about that, the process, it's a process to everything.
It is.
And that goes with that planning as well, right? Because when you said that, I just thought about this morning, what I was doing before preparing for the interview. When you're talking about follow-up, typically when I have a client or potential client or sponsor for a client that reaches out to me, is my reminder to follow up with others that are in waiting or limbo, or that I'm, like you said, sometimes they forget,
Right.
summer ending, school going back. It's a lot of parents, sometimes mothers, they're busy and I have to follow up. So it's that reminder. So when you said that, I was like, oh man,
I gotta
preaching.
follow up with this person.
Proactive. Yeah. It's so
you have to be.
For me, I'm an extrovert, but it's still that push. You gotta go beyond, it's like beyond your comfort zone to continue to do it.
It
and not
is.
just think it's gonna come to you, right?
Yeah. Because people, I mean, I don't think that a lot of people, when I'm speaking with them, they don't understand how long it takes me to do certain things or the process of getting it done. So they believe, like, we can have this conversation about what they want 2 days before the event. We cannot. There's so much that, has to happen. So I have to stay proactive and stay in contact with them to let them know, like, we can't just wait that 48 hours before. We actually have to talk about this before. Now, if you want to make changes, within, I tell people like 72 hours before your event, make a change. Because there's a lot that I can do with those hours. But do not, like don't wait until the last minute, the last 48, 24 hours to kind of figure out like what you want. Because then, I don't like doing, if it's something that I don't feel like I can give 100% in, I won't accept it.
Oh yeah, I love that. I'll just tell you, the only change I need is if I'm gonna double my deviled egg order. Oh,
I gotta get Coach Mike some deviled eggs.
Okay, so check this. We talked about starting out, right? And then day-to-day challenge. So now let's flip that because I always like to do the pickup, right? The rescue from this. So for everybody watching that says, you know what? In hearing that and hearing what you said, it's like, see, that's what I'm not sure about the planning and this and that and blah, 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 or this, So on the flip side of that, what is the most satisfying part of your business and being an entrepreneur and doing what you do from day to day?
I actually think that the most satisfying part is probably seeing it all come together. And see, this is where that whole introvert thing comes up, because I've actually had events where I walked into a room after they finish eating and they start clapping, and I immediately start crying.
Oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah, that's a nerve-wracking thing for me, and it is dope. Like in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is awesome, but in the front of my mind, I'm like, this is too much. But looking back, I appreciate those moments where I have people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my goodness," and everything. I make everything seem like it's a secret ingredient. So I'm like, I can't tell you. But I actually do post a lot of videos where I'm actually showing you the steps and what I'm using to make certain dishes. So I do give an inside, but when I'm out and like doing events and everything, I'm like, I can't tell you. But that's just my way of bringing them to my social media. But honestly, like just seeing everyone and watching everyone's expressions, especially like if I do a intimate event where like, let's say a wife has, or even a husband, whichever, they have, set up for me to come in and decorate and cook this intimate dinner for just them. And I have like,
hold on, time out. You a vibe. When you say for you to come in and decorate, now you're a chef.
I'm a chef.
For you to come in and decorate, you create the vibe experience. You create the whole vibe.
I do. I'm lighting those candles. There's roses on the floor. I got a roses on the tables. Listen, you're not eating on paper plates. I bring in the setting.
Come on now.
Yeah, I got the fancy stuff going. I have lights everywhere. It's the music. I'm bringing that as well because I know my music.
Come on.
Yeah,
you do. Now that's the truth.
So, turn those lights down. Let me light up this room with candle lights. I've done it where I've had cigars on the table for the gentlemen. I bring everything. I definitely do.
Here I go, looking in my bag again. I need
the bag.
I need Chef Shay money.
Yeah,
look at this beautiful bag too. You see this pin bag? One of my friends created this.
I love the bag.
I love supporting my people in this bag, because people say they got flowers on it and stuff. That ain't me. This is beautiful.
It is a beautiful bag.
Too bad it's pins and not money. I gotta find me some Chef Shay money.
Yeah, no, I mean
experience.
But I've walked into a room. Well, I've had people because like normally what happens with that is kind of awkward a little bit. Because I'm kind of like in the cut a little bit. And someone was walking, they open the door. Like I'm normally standing, and that gets weird as well because they'll text me and be like, "We're on our way up," and then I'm standing there like, "Okay, so."
Yeah, I don't know what to do with my hand.
What do I do? Okay, put it down, Najha. Just put it down. Okay, because you Chef Shay right now. All right, and then they walk in, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's why I do it."
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I've seen it both the husband or the wife, whoever, like I've seen them break down in tears, and I'm like, okay, because at that point I popped like 20 balloons. I stuck my finger. I probably burnt my hand or something like that. And but like in those events, I usually cook. I don't start cooking until you get there. The main part. I'll start the appetizer. That way, when you come in, it's not like a long wait between each of the meals, but everything's already prepped. Your appetizer's already, so when you walk in, you're smelling those aromas, and that's already getting your attention, but you can't even Like you're like, wait, it's so much going on. I have candle lights, I have fresh roses on the ground, like, leading me to this beautiful setting, and then the aroma. And here I am holding a glass of wine for you, or champagne, or if you don't drink, something. Like I make mocktails. I do it all.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Period, man.
I bought it all in. I bought everything that I had because, like I told you, food and beverage industry. I was a bartender. I
Mm-hmm.
make your drinks. My
Period.
mom, she owns an event planning, I'm sorry, event planning business. And she has done weddings, birthdays, bridal showers, the whole thing. And I've helped her set up. So, I mean, I know how to fold a
So
napkin.
you got it honest.
Yeah.
You just watered the seeds that were planted already from the food and
I like to
watching
keep the
family and stuff
money
cook.
within. I like to
Come
keep
on, man.
So, I mean, I figured it
Bars.
out.
Man, you know what? This is gonna be a whole nother level of stalking you about to see from me because I'm just
No,
gonna just go back down the timeline and look like because we've been connected, but this is why I love this in the
right,
interview. When I reach out to people I know because it gives the insight and the background information that you don't know for me, but for my audience as well. And for anybody that sees it, and this is a footprint. This is your footprint that 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now, well, as long as it exists out there, people can come back to and be inspired. And
right.
who knows what this interview will do for some little black girl, some little black boy 5 years from now.
Yeah.
They come across this. Somebody sent me this interview, and oh my God, it inspired me. When I saw the vibe experience with Chef Shay, I just inspired me to do this and that. And so that's why I love it. And it brings so much more to the table. So now, with that being said, right, the inspiration for maybe it's an adult that's just been
Mhm.
waiting on the sidelines. Like, I really want to do this. I hear so many people, they started something or their business expanded during the pandemic, and I'm here on the other side of it coming out. And I still don't know. I'm tired of what I'm doing or tired of being an employee, but I'm not sure how. So,
Mhm.
what advice would you give someone that's wanting to start a business or wanting to get into entrepreneurship?
So the best advice I can tell you is to do it right. And that goes off into so many different areas. Make sure that you are protecting yourself by starting to look up different ways to insure yourself, get that LLC,
Mm,
protect your brand if this is something that you really are serious about. Also, the planning, do that right. When I say that, one of the main things that I did when I first began was I stalked people. And yeah, it's crazy. But I
Make good
stalk people.
sense.
Yeah.
Period.
I went on,
Yeah.
we have this social media, and I'm not a social media person. Like personally, it's not really for me. But I do it for my business. But I have the social media. I'm starting this out and I'm stalking people. I'm finding different groups of people or individuals that do exactly what I want to be doing. Now, granted, you got to respect the process because they didn't just get there overnight. But it's certain things that they were doing. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do this, and I'm looking at their websites. I want this is a nice website. I want my website to be nice, and I'm just looking at everything their process. I also reached out to working in the food and beverage industry. I met incredible chefs, and one of my favorites, I used to call him my work best friend, but he like owned restaurants in Florida. He now has his gin company. He makes his own gin. He's awesome.
Oh, wow.
But when I tell you that, what I remember from him is that his plating was beautiful.
Mm,
Even working, like, it wasn't a low scale restaurant, but just working, even with it just being something that he didn't even create with his mind. So
mhm.
one day he was in Baltimore and I hit him up like, hey, what are you doing? How long you here? He on a condo. He's like, I'm gonna be here. I said, can you help me with my plating? And he's like, yeah, just come over, bring the food. And immediately, now this is something that he honestly could have charged me thousands of dollars for, because I've
Mhm.
seen people that do that, but just kind of networking, like you said, kind of filling in those blanks. I know him. We were very close. He didn't mind taking the time out. I went to him a couple of times and literally he's a genius. And all it did was reconfirm that for me. But he taught me a lot. It's just about everything, but it's all about preparation. It's all about practice. And I can't say this enough. You have to practice, 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 whatever your craft is. And I tell that to family members, friends, and everyone. Whatever that is that you want to do, you need to practice it.
Mm.
I practice plating like so much is ridiculous. I make my own food and it's plated nice. And that way it becomes a habit. So it's not forced. I'm not sitting there when I'm in doing an event or anything. I'm trying to figure out like, where should this go and everything. Literally, when I eat my food, it looks like this. Wow. So for me, that's a practice. I have to cook for myself. I really don't eat out too much. So I cook for myself. Well, let me practice, get this practice in. And then when
I'm skin looks so good.
Yeah.
Cooking all your own food.
It's pale.
I got time for that. Man, your skin's so clear, man. Whatever.
Yeah, it's so, but that's what it is.
I'm finna move.
You don't want to come here, man. I love my city. I love Baltimore. But if it's only for the food, man, nah.
I love to eat. I'm from the South.
I love to cook.
I'm from the South. You mean only for the food? That's an experience.
Yeah, it is.
I love that. Plan. It's a vibe, period. The vibe, man, come on. Plan, do it right. And then just plan, do it right. Plan, do it right. Let me put stalker after plan. Plan, stalk, do it right. And then there was another P because I like practice. Thank you. Oh, come on, man. Practice. That is so powerful. That could be a book right there. Plan, stalk, do it right, practice.
When in the beginning of your book or at the end, like on that side note, you just write like a letter, like this is
no, hold on, time out. I said it could be a book. I ain't taking your idea. That's proprietary. That's your intellectual knowledge.
I said I can write a book. My life is a book, but that's another story.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody watching, like, yeah, coach, when you gonna drop that book?
No.
Anyway, next question. Moving on. I don't know what you're talking about. Wait, when? We did what? Where I know you from? That's gonna be our inside joke from now on. So now, before I talk about like what's next for your business, but hold on, don't answer. Before we go there, talk to me for a moment about the competition that you just finished, because that was like a roller coaster, man. I enjoyed seeing it in that journey. And just,
let me first start off by saying I've said this to you multiple times, but I appreciate the support. I definitely just seeing you being active, remembering to vote. You know, that took a lot. And not even just that, but the conversation, because even if it was hard for me to see who voted and stuff because of the way they set that up. But even if, you know, maybe you didn't get to a vote that day, you still reached out. And I appreciate that. So I was a part of Carla Hall's cooking competition. And I made it through a few of the rounds. Unfortunately, I didn't make it to the final cut. I think they're still going, actually. Like, that was months and months of Yes, I think just yesterday I saw something.
If I'm not mistaken, you made it in the what? You made it in the
like semifinals.
Last cut?
Yeah, it was like
semifinals, right?
Right, but then there's like different divisions of that. Everything was like in divisions. But I'm actually going to do like a video on this whole experience. But overall, it was amazing for me to see the support. It came from so many different places in so many different ways. Like, I even had like my goddad, he texted me and was like, you better beat this. And, you know, like just different things that you never know who's watching what you're doing. And it was amazing. Like, I saw some of teachers that were voting for me. I'm like, Miss here.
Right.
Here. You know, but it also took a lot for me to even join it because it was all based on votes, right? Like, it's not really it's not really me that's winning. It's really you guys that's winning for me, right? But it took a lot for me to post it because at that point, once again, empath, I have to communicate. So I'm texting, I'm like, oh, this is wild, you know, but thankfully, especially when it comes to like family and friends, I reach out so much. Like, I have a huge family, I do, but I'm like the niece that will call, you know, I'm the cousin that will check in. I'm the sister that's like, hey, what you doing? So thankfully, that's not, you know, the source of the conversation. I do have a great relationship with all of my family members. I'm reaching out to them and they're reaching back out to me. They're sending it to their church members and all types of things. And it was just crazy. It was insane. Like, just to see the amount of reposts, it was like very, I don't know. I don't even know. It was nostalgic, in a sense, like where so I could see all this support like coming together from I don't even remember where I met most of these people. People that I've known since I was a kid was voting for me, and that was amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I just love that. And it's so funny because I tell people one thing that you can do um to show love is just support
Yeah.
your people, man. And you know, I talk about this and I show it and I hope that it's felt. I don't always talk about it or post about it because
Mm-hmm.
I know that my blessing in return is coming, you know. And that was a lesson I had to learn the hard way as well. You ain't gotta show and tell everything that you do
Yes.
to support people, you know.
See, I have
Let
the
it come back
opposite.
to you.
I'm the opposite. My mom's
So
like, you can tell, you can
yeah,
show.
yeah, that's true. And you
Yeah.
definitely can. But for me, if I did show all, you know, because I'm gonna make posts, I'm gonna support. But if I put it all out there, people would probably be like, oh my God. And it will be
Right.
overwhelming to the point of flipping to well, you ain't gotta try to make other people feel bad.
Right.
You done it. You know
Yeah.
what I
See,
mean?
that's how I feel. I'm
So
like, well, let me
yeah.
just wait until the process is finished and then, you know, I'll say something about it. Like with
Mm-hmm.
everything that I'm doing with my IT career, I've never posted about any of it.
Yeah.
I've never, like, even though I sit in front of a computer, for my times that I have, and I'm like
Mm-hmm.
literally in front of a book, I've never posted any of it. Most
Yeah.
people don't know what I'm doing, but
Right.
when it comes time for the graduation, when I get this job offer that I'm working really hard for, then they'll know. They'll be like, "Oh, this is where you've been."
You know what though? I think that's what sparked us doing this. And I was like, bro, Shay, you do so much. We gotta,
I
we
do.
gotta, we gotta document this, you
Yeah,
know, because you're in
I'm
business. But then I
everywhere.
learned all the other stuff you do, you know, and it's so funny because I tell people if Jack of all trades in the Encyclopedia Britannica had a picture, it would be my big old head
Right.
because I'm the Jack of all trades, but master of none, and I know a little bit about a lot. You know, from music to art to doing stuff, you know, speaking, training, coaching, different stuff. And so it's one of those things I attract and connect to a lot of people like that, you know.
Right.
It's that energy that you put out. So that's so dope to hear
I
and
think
inspiring
that's
as
also
well.
my mom. That's my mother. When we were
Mm-hmm.
younger, well, when I was younger, she's like, you have to get involved. And she always laughs now, but she was crying in the inside back then where she said that to me, and I think I took it too far. I got involved in everything.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah,
show
I
you.
was I was everywhere. I'm like doing three sports. Hey mom, what I think what did I start playing? Field hockey. I never even heard of field hockey.
Wow.
I had never heard of field hockey. The director, athletic director, walked up to me and he's like, here, he hands me a stick. I'm like, what is this? Do you still have your cleats from softball? Yes. Okay, go to the field at 3 o'clock. I walk on the field with this stick. I'm wearing these cleats. Well, I had shoes, regular shoes. This was first day. So I had regular shoes on. And they're like, yeah, you're going to need cleats and shin guards. I said, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Like in field hockey. What is field
What?
hockey? But I
Right.
was actually really good at it. So, I did sports in high school. I was a part of like a career development college placement program. It's called Avid. It was amazing. I was like the vice
Let's
president
go.
of that. I was a part of the Jewish club. I joined guitar club. Like I was just everywhere. I was everywhere. So many other
I
clubs and
just
stuff
see
that I
what
joined.
else. What else could I get
Right.
involved in?
So I mean, I took that in my adult life. Like, what am I learning? It's always about what can I do? What can I learn? So I
Mm,
learned how to do photography. I really got invested into that and just learning about that. And photography is amazing, like the whole world of it, and just what you can do with a single lens is incredible. So
yeah.
I mean, I dove deep into that.
I mean, you're right. Because this
Right.
lens right here,
Yeah.
it prepares
What
me
you
so
can do with
well.
a lens is incredible. You can drink out of it. Like what? I learned that, and then which led me into like working for different companies, and I'm taking pictures of stage homes, which led me into I don't even know. Like it's just it kind of just keeps going, and every time I
Hmm.
find something that I like, I'm invested in it. So I
There it
had to
is.
dive into it. Right,
I
I'm
think I
creating
just came up with
websites.
another. I think I just came up with another name for you.
Oh my god.
EB. EB with my little hug emojis. Energizer Bunny. It
Yes,
keeps
I'm
going. You
everywhere.
said it keeps going.
It is. I can do everything, but people call me like, Najha, you know how to do this? I'm like, yeah.
And
You
if
know,
not, you can figure it out.
And if not, I could figure it out. That's how I started making cupcakes back in the day. Like I had a whole cupcake business. I
Man,
made
you know what?
gourmet
This is
cupcakes
awesome.
and cakes. And
You
that's
know, we
where
probably, I think, EB, I think, I think we're gonna have to bring this back and do an impactful conversations too, because
yeah,
the inspiration and the part of like, you know, just Black business booming. First of all, it's for Black businesses, right?
right.
But I did impactful conversations to allow anyone who's making an impact with community and an inspirational message to have an impactful conversation. That's why I started that. And what you said and just the work ethic and the things behind the scenes to get you to this point and your approach to life, that's impactful, you know what I mean? So it's like I was just thinking like, man, this is a whole nother conversation, like a part two, because
Listen,
it's very inspiring, in the gems that's being dropped. So
I do it
um
all. It's crazy. And still
yeah.
find time to be. I had a nonprofit organization. I coach basketball. Like when
Oh,
do
I knew you coach, but I didn't
yeah,
know
I
the
definitely
nonprofit
I
route.
coach.
Right.
Now listen, I coach. I can coach.
You
But
coach. I feel it. You got that
I love
coach
that aspect of the
personality.
inspiring and motivating. And that's what kind of led me into coaching. Well, I love basketball, but the opportunity presented itself and I jumped at it. And I've been doing that for years now. In the
Mm.
same area. I actually like went to the championships my first year coaching. It was insane. We didn't win, but I was there my first year coaching, and then every
Man, you
year,
won. You
yeah,
made it to a
and I
championship
won. Yeah,
your first year.
my first year I
That's
made it to the
amazing.
championships. Yes, and I was nervous as I don't know what, but made it happen. Second year championships, third year.
Wow. That's awesome, man.
I finally came through, and like you said, I won the other times, but we really took that number one last year actually, so that was pretty cool.
Man, this is so awesome. Okay, so now it's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's the title. It's a
Yes.
vibe. What's next for the vibe experience for your business? And is there anything coming down the pipeline or what's next for you and your business?
So right now I'm working on three different aspects of my business. The merchandise, you see this hat. This is just a
Mm,
prototype of this is my personal hat, but I'm going to introduce a, just small merchandise line where I'll
mhm.
have like different vibes on there because it's not just one thing that I'm into. So, photography vibe and, entrepreneur vibe, everything doctor vibe, nurse vibe, whatever the case may be.
Come
But I want to
on.
come out with that, whereas though a lot of people can support me, but also kind of showcase what they're doing and everything. Cause I'm going to have an engineer vibe on soon. Um, yes,
Sound effects. A round of applause. I
I'm
love
working
that.
on getting out of these introverted ways that I have. So I'm actually my YouTube channel is up already. I have already posted one video. It's actually my commercial. That video was fire. It was fun. It was a lot of fun shooting that video. But coming forward on my YouTube is also going to be a lot more content where I'm going to be giving these one-on-one conversations. Well, one in however many viewers but just talking about everything and the steps that I took because this is the type of things that I was looking for when I first started my business and it wasn't available without a price tag. I don't want the price tag. I just want to inspire and help others out with certain information. And I'm finding
Mm,
that with any aspect that you're trying to do when you're doing these, looking up, trying to figure out where to start, a lot of it comes with a price tag.
mm,
And you can't necessarily afford a price tag when you're first starting something.
mm.
So I
Add
want to,
value, add value, add value. But you know
yeah,
what? I just want to say for that, because your approach and your foundation is pure in that, the price tag will come
right.
anyway.
Yeah, I
Period.
feel that. If it comes, I'll be happy about it. If I have 10 people
When
that
it
watch the
comes.
video and I get one person that messes when it
When
comes,
it
yeah,
comes.
speaking to existing manifestation, I feel you. But when it comes, and even if I just have like 10 viewers and I get one email saying, hey, listen, you inspired me, I'll be like, oh my goodness. Me taking myself out the comfort zone and really sitting and preparing with the time that I really don't have, but all that is going to feel like it was necessary and I'll feel better for it.
I love that. Oh
Yeah.
man,
All
look,
right.
let me just say, first of all, thank you for sharing this space, right? Because so most introverts or most people who are in that space of like, I really, I put myself, they are the most social with people they're comfortable with, people they
Yeah.
know. So I've never experienced your uh the way you naturally probably present, right? Of that
Mm.
introvert that, because I'm married to him. But when y'all are comfortable, it's so amazing the energy and the personality, right, that comes out. So thank you. But
No, thank
also I
you.
just want to say this, and I think I told you this in one of our conversations prior. I'm proud of you because it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to juggle so much when you are that Jack Jill of all trades and to be able to figure out what's next in this. And so when you said something a second ago in my mind, I went coach mode and you were like, you said, well, what I'm working through is, getting out of that introvertness. And in my mind, it was an instant thought of don't work on it. Just be
Right.
you. Because what happens is somebody sees it and it's like, okay, if this successful introverted entrepreneur can do it, I can too. And
Right.
so it's like that behind the scenes is what really inspires people when it comes up. It's like, oh wow, I saw Chef Shay and she was talking, about this and that and working through. And I didn't know I could do this because I'm so shy or introverted and I don't want to put myself out there. But seeing her inspired, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
tell people a lot of times, sometimes it's just a matter of being instead of doing. Like
Okay.
be the dopeness and fire that you already are. Everything else is coming because you're in motion. And that's my three W's, right? Universe will align to give you what you want, will, and work for. The want and will is there, but you working for it. And that's true manifestation. Because people say manifestation, they, oh, well, I could just think about it. So is a man, woman, think it, so is he. No, you gotta put some work in. You
Mm-hmm.
can lay there in the bed and pray, think, meditate, manifest all you want. If you don't get your butt up and do some work, ain't nothing to happen, right? So I just love the fact that you're in motion continuously, and it just in this interview and everything you shared, it shows that you're watering the seeds and reaping the harvest of seeds that were planted, all your life. And that's a beautiful thing because so many people are sitting on their, oh, come on, this is a word. So many people are sitting on their harvest.
Yes.
Oh, I felt
No,
that.
that
Anyway,
I feel that.
man. So any special deals, thoughts? You talked about, getting into the merch line and different things that you're coming up, but any other thing that you want to, any other things or thoughts that you want to share with the audience?
I feel like we just unloaded.
Man, did we?
Yeah.
Now y'all watching this. We've been talking about an hour and a half. So y'all watching this, y'all getting the cutting room floor. Y'all not getting the cutting room floor. Y'all getting the final product. But we've been chilling. We've been here. I think no, because before I hit record
Yeah,
and
we
to
were already
capture
going.
maybe any bloopers, we were talking for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We've been here like 2 hours.
Listen, I just want anyone who has watched this video to take any part that you can take from it and literally just put your all into being who you want to be. Because I think I can speak for myself and Coach Mike over here that that is what we're preaching to everyone in any aspect. If you want to do something, if you want to be somewhere, put your all into it and don't back down. Like just because someone discourages you, look past that discouragement and say, this is what I want. This is how I'm going to get it. Let me execute it.
Wow. Uh, encourage yourself. Like you talked about that, getting past that discouragement of other people. And we talked even, I don't know if this is in the interview or prior to us starting, was this idea of when you tell somebody that you want to do something or that you're going to do something, the first question a lot of times is why.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to know, for everybody, I'm speaking to you. I want you to know that don't be discouraged by that because they're asking you why, because they don't understand it. It ain't their vision. It ain't their passion. It ain't their journey. It ain't their GPS. Come on,
Mm-hmm.
somebody. It ain't their GPS. So it's a foreign language to them. So why would you do that? It ain't their passion. It ain't their seed to water, to plant, water, or harvest.
Right.
So that right there is just, man, that was awesome. Whew.
You gonna drop
Man,
another
this
word?
this is one for the book. I told you this is it'll have to be a whole nother one because there's so much inspiration that comes from the conversation and just talking through it. And I just hope people, as I always say, right, every interview, but this one as well, to go back and pick up on some of these nuggets because you dropped some gems. And I love typically when I ask that question about any advice that you would give someone starting, right? What usually comes out, and you just ended with it, but what usually comes out in that question is similar or something around just do it, start. But I love how you added a little wrinkle to that of do it right.
Yeah.
You know, so my saying since high school has been life is like Nike, just do it. But not only do it right. So that plan, stalk your market, what you want to do. It's out there. You ain't got to reinvent the wheel. What inspiration can you glean from and do it your way? And then once you plan, stalk, do it right, all you got to do is practice, man.
Yes.
Doctors spend all these years in school, and what do when they get in there? Practice. Look, sis, thank you so much. I am proud of you. Thank you for your time in doing this. I always know that my connection, I tell people this is my closing, to check your web, not your circle, but your web. On a circle, and my explanation is on a circle, if you, sports, athletes, former athletes, you think about a track. You and I can be on a track and never contact. You could be on the other side of the track because you beat me that bad. I'm that slow. We never come in contact. But a web, it's a web, a line connected to everybody. Right. And so I tell people, check your web from the things you talk about with networking. And I'm saying this as a highlight to you, like the people that I connect with in my web, it's not happenstance. It's not just, it's like people who are really on that wavelength and doing things. And it's in the season where it's supposed to happen, you know? So I thank you and I appreciate you. And I hope that everyone will take some things from this and it inspires them as much as it has inspired me.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for bringing me here. Because I've watched a few episodes. I'm like, I could be on there.
Period.
You know? But you and I, we coordinated, we got this thing together, and I appreciate you for even just recognizing that I could be a part of your movement. So I appreciate you allowing me into your space.
Period. I appreciate you for sure. Game recognized game. That's what it's all about. And look, period. Black is a blessing. Black business boom. Get out the way, coach. Black business booming. Period. Thank y'all for tuning into another episode again. If you have not subscribed yet, subscribe. You know the vibes now. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah, connect with the vibe experience. Information is going to be dropped in the description below. Make sure you connect with Chef Shay. Tell her where you saw her. Saw you on Black Business Boom with Coach Mike. And let's keep this thing going. Support your people. And as always, y'all know what it is. God loves you, so do I. I want y'all to love life, live love. Peace, together, not apart. And we'll catch y'all next time on another episode of Black Business Booming. Peace.
Well, got it.
Well, what? You were talking.
Well, no, the screen popped up.
I know, but you didn't finish your statement.
Like a hug. Well, their mom or somebody has gone for a hug, and I'm like, oh, we're hugging? Oh, okay. But I say it out loud.
We're hugging.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So this is funny. And my wife and I, we talked about it multiple times. Like, you know how it's so awkward in conversation. Yeah. Like, you know, have this ever happened to you? I already know the answer, but somebody say, hey, how you doing? I'm good. How are you doing? They say I'm good. That's awesome. How you doing? And you're like, damn, I already said.
I think people are slow though.
Or when you're in passing and you say, they say like, hey, how's it going? Like, hey. Some authors like, wait.
Bright light. I'm done with you. I'm the bright light.
Wait, stop. You ain't supposed to make me cry.
You know, my mom used to look at my people told me I was adopted for the longest.
Your parents darker skin? Well, you mentioned Poco earlier, you know. I was addicted to the hokey pokey. Then I turned myself around.
That's what it's all about, man. That is what it's all about. What are you saying? I feel that energy.
And I wiped my tears and now they came back. Because you have to wipe your tears all the way, because if you don't, then you get that little tear booger.
Yeah, that's just, I wake up with those.
Look at you, got me crying.
Oh no, I don't want to.
You say you think you cried in your sleep?
Yeah, I also think I have an eye phobia, so I can't help you with your eye.
You got an eye phobia?
Eyes are
You
just
scared of eyeballs?
in a sense. I think they're just like if you were sitting next to me, right, and you would never, but if you were sitting next to me, someone's in your eye, and you're like, "Hey, can you blow in my eye?" I cannot.
Oh wow.
I cannot. Like I don't care. Like
So you don't hear that the most about like feet. Like I don't like feet neither. But eyeballs.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna blow in anyone's eye. I don't want to look in your, no. It's
in all my 22 years of living, I ain't never heard nobody.
Is there a word for me? Like, you know, there's a word for everything.
You eye-phobic.
I'm
eye-phobic. I'm still thinking about them. That gone deviled eggs.
Oh man, the deviled eggs.
Oh
yeah.
Oh. Y'all, I bet. Look.
I mean,
stay here.
I can't explain to you how that even happened. I cannot explain. Yeah, no, but I can't explain how it happened. Like in my mind, I just create things. Like I like the taste of certain things, and the deviled eggs he's talking about, there was like these shrimp stuffed deviled eggs, buffalo shrimp at that. And I don't know, like I love buffalo tasting things. I'm a pescatarian, so I do not eat like chicken or anything. So most things I do is mostly seafood, but I also go vegan based on a lot of options. But I wanted some buffalo chicken, so I made some buffalo shrimp, and then like I don't know what happened. It just like kind of all exploded on a plate and up there.
Oh my goodness. Such a beautiful explosion. Nice. That's amazing. Congratulations. I need my sound card. I didn't know it was gonna be so many moments of like applause or like no. What was that? What was that sound effect? I have never heard it in my life.
All right, that's
thinking about like the applause.
That's the Chef Shay tone then. That's
thinking about like the applause, like you know, pew 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 pew. Or not the do do do. Anyway, such a music lover and influenced by music. 3 songs just popped out of what you said.
Okay, wait, give them to me.
If you wanna be somebody, if you wanna go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
Okay, give me a beat. What popped in your head?
All right, what's number 2? Number 2. You can do it. Put your back into it. Hey, you can do it. Because you said you gotta, and it flowed. And then the last one, you talk about the discouragement. And this is when I was on a TikTok kick. It was the first thing that made me do, because you know I do my music themes when I go live on TikTok. It was the first one that made me do a gospel, just a full gospel stream. And the song, I had a season of this song, probably for about a whole quarter of the beginning of this year. It was encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Encourage us to spend all these years in school, and what do they do when they get in there? Practice. They practice. Yeah. You're practicing to become
I'm a doctor as well, so
period.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy, I've been watching since season 2, so I can do what do you need done? I'm just saying, I know my way around the OR is what I'm telling you. I can work an ER.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I was like, not you introducing another wrinkle to this interview. I thought you was gonna tell me about a doctorate degree.
No,
and you said
this is real life.
I love it, period. So go back to your Encyclopedia Britannica with images everywhere. When you look up Jack of all trades, there will be a picture of Coach Mike and Chef Shay. Like,
Siamese
we told you.